Carly Goshen will send it over, and the Mustangs will keep it alive. Now the attack from the far side, and it's down for the kill. Olivia Dorenz. Chloe Hertz. Hertz pushes it in back there to Schmidt. Shot from the point. It's in! Off the stick of Taylor Leonards, excuse me, and it's 3-0. Taylor Leonards with the third goal for the Bismarck Blizzard on the shot from the point on the far side. And the Blizzard are running on all cylinders here in period number 41-37, 4:25 to go here as the Kindred Vikings will work it down low. Another slam dunk and one. How about that? A slam dunk by Gavin Keller, and he got fouled on the two-handed throwdown. Kennedy Kuntz will pop that one up left center field. It's going back, and we have our first grand slam of the All-Star Series in 3 years. Hansen under center, drops back, looks near side. I believe that's Wilmo, and he's got it. Fargo South touchdown.
Kaylee Jackson, three-pointer up, and no, that one won't go in. Tana Lick pulls down the deep offensive board. She'll put up a three. That one's in, we're tied.
Grothman won't be able to control it. The ball will escape over to the far sideline. Fargo Davies have come up that far sideline, and a nice through ball there, and this could be an opportunity. Centering pass, one-on-one. Was she outside? She was not. It's 1-0 Fargo Davies. Bad pitch here, and the bases are loaded. Line drive right into center field, and that will score one run. And rounding third is Rorich, and he'll score. It's a two-run RBI double for Casey Reber. Shot from the point, Bree Adams, lowering hard, and it's in! Off the stick to Sydney Camstrup, and the Cougars are on the board! Press box here, the best we're able to. That one's going high left field, and running for it is Schwab, and she makes a diving catch! Wow, what a play by Cameron Schwab, the junior in left field, to end the inning.
Fantastic catch.
All right, welcome. We're here at Fargo Davies High School, and what I always joke and say in extreme South Fargo, they are hosting their neighbors from the north. And when I say neighbors, I do mean that. In moderate traffic, it takes 3 minutes on the dot to go from Fargo Shanley to Fargo Davies High School, and these are the two teams meeting in today's game. The Deacons will be in their white jerseys, and the Eagles will be in their home maroonish red with gold sleeves. And they are on the left side bench right now, and they're going through the Fargo Shanley starters at the moment. So we'll skip over our first couple timeouts. So let's take a look at these two teams side by side, including the Shanley Deacons. We'll start with them. They were 7-9-1 last year. They're 1-1 this year. They have scored four goals and allowed 3. They picked up a 3-0 win over Fargo North just a couple days ago, and then they would open up the season, the East-West crossover, with a 3-1 loss to Jamestown. For the home team, the Fargo Davies Eagles, well, they were 15-3-2 last year. Those two ties came against the West Fargo Packers, and one of those 3 losses came against the West Fargo Packers as well in that state championship game where they would fall 1-0 as West Fargo would score that goal in the final 2 minutes of that state championship game. Up until that point, it was 0-0, thinking that we might have an overtime in the state championship game, but that was not the case. West Fargo was able to sneak a goal in, and they would steal the title from the Davies Eagles. So we'll see how they fare against the Packers this season a little bit later, a couple of times in September. They opened it up the season with a 1-0 win over Minot at the Jamestown East-West crossover, and then they would follow the Bismarck Century 3-1, also at the East-West crossover in Jamestown. And then they would play the Bruins up at their home field at Grant Kwame Field, and they would pick up a 1-0 win over Fargo South, bringing them into tonight's game against the Shanley Deacons, their neighbors from the north, by about 3 minutes in moderate traffic and a minute and a half in no traffic. So we are at 73 degrees right now. We should have sunshine throughout this entire game, and we'll probably dip into the upper 60s by the time this one wraps up, like 68, 69. Take a look quickly at the standings and the EDC. Grand Forks Central leading the way with a 2-0-0 record, followed by the Mustangs 1-0-1, the Packers and Eagles 2-1-0. Red River is at 1-1-1. Shanley Deacons are at 1-1-0, and then Fargo South is 0-1-0, and the Fargo North Spartans are 0-2-1. And the WDA side, it's the Jamestown Blue Jays with a 2-0-0 record, followed by the Bismarck Demons at 2-0-1. Century Patriots 2-1-0. Legacy Sabres 1-1-0. Minot Magicians and the Mandan Braves both at 0-2-1. And then the Williston Coyotes at 0-3-0. Dickinson Midgets will be playing a JV schedule this year. They might hop over to varsity next year. Standings provided courtesy of North Dakota's #1 source for statewide high school scores. It's northdakotascores.net. Find them on the web at northdakota-scores.net. And taking a look at some other games being played, I believe these are actually from a couple days ago, so I apologize for that. So we'll skip over that for now. As they just finished announcing the starters here for the two teams. Jensen Waltz will be your starting goalie for Fargo Davies, and it will be Cole Jager, your starting goalie for the Shanley Deacons. Other starters for the Davies include Jonas Adams, Jack Anderson, Eric Byminiana, Patrick Lawrence, Shushan Rai, Caleb Glover, Yannick Vetter, Skylar Smaby, and Muhammad Ali and Ryder Schmidt. Those are your starters for the Fargo Davies Eagles. For the Shanley Deacons, Dan Russell, Hugo Zemran from Central Cass School, Hugo is. Carter Jager, Drew, I forgot to ask how to pronounce that one. I'll have to double check on that one there. Beiswinger, we'll go with that. Jace Dew, Evan Reinholz, Landon Otten, Jorgen Dietz, Ethan Kessler, and Owen Mears, your starters for the Shanley Deacons. Once again, Fargo Shanley will be in their white jerseys, and they will start with the ball here in the first half of play. We'll make a quick adjustment on our scoreboard there. It says 24 there. It will not say that here in a little bit. We'll turn down that crowd mic. In fact, I don't think that crowd mic is turned on. So maybe we don't have to turn it off. We'll check on that here in a little bit. And we are underway here in the first half of play. The Deacons start with the ball. Once again, Deacons finished 7-9-1 last season, while the Fargo Davies Eagles finished 15-3-2. Those two ties came against West Fargo and West Fargo, the Packers, and the Lawson State Championship game, of course. Right now for Fargo Shanley, that was number, let's see here. I didn't have him circled as a starter, but Jordan Miranda, number 2 for the, oh, there was a 1 in front of that too, so it was Landon Otten. Okay, there we go. Thanks again for joining us here. We had the game against Fargo Shanley, or the Grand Forks Central and West Fargo, excuse me, on Magnitude Sports Vision by mistake. So we apologize for that. It is uploaded to our Andy Sports channel page, and you can check that out at any time. It's on demand, available right now. Of course, you can go to our website too, msportsnet.com. Check out all the cool features there. We got all these stations right there under the stations link. And, of course, ND Sports Channel is one of them. We moved the ND Sports Channel to our homepage so you can have easy access to it for those who may not be too familiar with our website, as we got it up and running over the summer season. And we only had 2 games of the fall sports season on our new network of stations, Magnitude Sports Network. So certainly appreciate you following us on social media. Each of our stations have an individual Twitter account, as well as a home website for all of our stations, and then each independent stations under that stations button. You can also check out player profile videos. Those are some interesting ways to help your student athlete maybe get in the front running for a possible college scholarship. You can learn all about that. We've done a few softball ones, but we do them for other sports too, including soccer, football, basketball, volleyball, hockey. Let's see here, wrestling. Did I miss a couple? I'm sure I did. But if I didn't mention the sport, that doesn't mean that we don't do it. So just keep that one in mind. 37-52 and counting to go here in the first half of play. Still no score here between the Davies Eagles and the Shanley Deacons, who will have a free kick here from about 25 yards away, straight on from the goal. It's Drew Beiswinger. We're going to go with that. And if I'm mispronouncing that, please text us at 701-373. 1873, and I will get that. And I'll also check at the next break and play, which will more than likely won't be until halftime, but we will do our best here to get that corrected ASAP. He's going to put it right on goal. It's going to be up top over to the left side. You may notice we have some new scoreboard software. We have an independent software for every sport now, and I want to thank Julio for helping us make that happen. He did a fantastic job in a quick amount of time to get us set up with scoreboards for about 5 of the sports that we cover, and we're working with him to get the other ones. We have a little bit of time since those are fall and spring sports that we need to worry about. We got a little bit of time before we need to work on those scoreboards. So we got the soccer, the basketball, and the soccer, the football, and the volleyball ones ready to go, and we'll get their other sports here for the next month or two all set up. Trying to break through the defense there was Shushan Rai, number 6 for the Fargo Davies Eagles. That was Patrick Lawrence who touched up on the ball at the dead ball whistle. Once again, at the next opportunity, we'll check that crowd mic down there and get that turned on. It was working when I put it down there, but the batteries must have died in the meantime. So, Shushan Rai with the ball right now. He's going to dribble around a couple of defenders, drop it back onto the foot of Jonas Adams. Adams, right around midfield, will switch the ball over to the far side and then boot it up where it's headed away there by the Shanley defender. That is Jace Dew. So we have a short break and play here. I believe that's Jonas Adams setting up to take the free kick over on the far side. Can't quite see. You'll take a peek through the binoculars, but looking at the rest of the jersey numbers, I can tell you for sure that that's more than likely him. And that one will go inside to the Shanley defenders, just inside of the 18. They'll pop it back out where we picked up there by Patrick Lawrence. Lawrence will pop it out. Adams will pop it back in. That'll be, let's see, couldn't quite catch the jersey number on that. And the Shanley Deacons will boot it back outside of the 18 where it's picked up on the foot there of Landon Auden. Landon Auden is a sophomore for Shanley this year. And the Deacons will advance the ball into and over the midfield line there. With the ball right now for the Deacons was Landon Auden being guarded there by Caleb Glover. The ball will advance over to the far side, and they'll try and work it in. And that'll be cleared away there by, I believe that was Ryder Schmidt, and it was. Ryder Schmidt tried to clear it away, but the Deacons got it right back. Now a ricochet out of bounds for a Deacon throw-in over on the far side. msportsnet.com is where you can go to check the upcoming game schedules. We have some football tomorrow between the Shiloh Christian Skyhawks and the Harvey Wells County Hornets. We'll be in Bismarck for that game tomorrow. The first ever 11-man football game for the Skyhawks. They played 9-man football last year, so we'll see how they fare in the 11-man category. They had a pretty strong presence in that 9-man, lost a couple tough championship games, one of the more recent ones to the Wyoming Lidgerwood Warbirds. Can't remember the exact score, but I know the Warbirds won that one easily. We'll leave it at that. So it was not I don't want to say it was too lopsided, but it was, I think it's safe to say that game was one-sided in that particular matchup there. So we wish the Skyhawks and all the other 11-man football teams the best of luck in the fall sports season, which kicks off. I'm trying to remember if no, I don't think anybody did play last Friday. I think tomorrow is the first football game for all the teams that will be playing tomorrow, which I believe is everybody in the state. So Jonas Adams would pop it up to Muhammad Ali there. Muhammad Ali wearing jersey 17. He's down on the ground holding his right leg right now. Looks like he's right above his ankle or right at his ankle. Ooh, taking a tumble there was Shushan Rai. And will we have a yellow card here, or is he just going to have a talk with him? Yep, he's just going to have a talk with him. So 32:39 is the time, and that clock will continue to tick for the moment. And now we'll stop it. We'll stop it at 32-34. Actually, we'll let it run for 2 more seconds because we're about 2 seconds off here. There we go. So Muhammad Ali is going to have to go out for at least a little bit there. They'll check up on it looks like he was holding his right leg right around the ankle underneath the shin guard there. I kind of saw what happened, but I didn't catch the whole play. As I was looking at the player with the ball just off to the right side of Ali. So the free kick will advance the ball up to the near sideline into the near corner in a battle for it, and they'll go out of bounds for a Deacon throw-in. Nice through ball there. It's a one-on-one race. And coming up on it there for Fargo Shanley was Hugo Zamaron from actually attends school in Central Cass out in Castleton, as Shanley has opened up their co-op to include Sullivan Middle School and Park Christian, as it always has for the last few years. And now this year they are welcoming players who want to play soccer from Central Cass School District. So that's pretty cool to see some Class B players playing on a Class A soccer team. That is pretty sweet. We like to see that. Hope to see maybe a few more. Of course, we'd love it if Class B were to get some soccer. That would be pretty entertaining, I would think. But the numbers probably aren't there just quite yet to make that happen, at least to make maybe 1 or 2 teams could occur, but not enough to get a league started, at least not at this point. Maybe that'll change in the future. Picking it up is Shushan Rai here on the near sideline, and that will be momentarily booted away by Owen Mears, and then I believe it was bounced off Jonas Adams out of bounds for a Deacons throw-in. Just under 31 minutes to go here, and actually just over 31 minutes, excuse me. And there's a through ball, and it's going up in the direction there of, that was Eric Baimeniana. Over on the far side there. One thing I like about coming to Fargo Davies is the press box a little bit closer to the field, so it's easier to see that far side of the field without using the binoculars, especially when it's not dark out yet. And they do have the lights on here at the stadium. I would suspect that the sun will. I didn't take a look at the sunset time here. See if I can pull up the sunset time. They're suggesting it'll be at about 8:25, so that's a little bit over an hour from now, as it's 7:09 right now. Loose ball picked up there by the Eagles. That was Shushan Rai. And now he'll lose it, put it back inside on the foot of Owen Mears there for Fargo Shanley, and a whistle will stop the play momentarily. And now a free kick here for the Deacons. They'll put it inside. That'll be headed up by a Davies defenseman, and now a one-hopper into the hands of Jensen Waltz, the junior goalkeeper. First time we've mentioned either of the goalkeepers' names outside of the starting lineups in today's broadcast. I don't think that Cole Jagger has touched the ball yet in this game. That one will be deflected, and then running forward is, let's see here, Mukunda Easy, I believe is how he said it. It was Mukunda Easy. Bill Mukunda Easy. He's a sophomore forward for the Fargo Davies Eagles. That's one other thing I like about calling soccer games is the names are a little bit more difficult to pronounce than they are in like football or basketball. And when I can nail those names, I absolutely have a smile on my face. So absolutely enjoy that. That pass was intended there for Shushan Rai, and it'll trickle out of bounds there, picked up by Yannick Vetter. Yannick Vetter is a junior defenseman for the Fargo Davies Eagles, as he'll make the toss, and a couple touches later, it goes in for Mukunda Easy. I'm going to get that one. We'll have about 6 or 7 Fargo Davies Eagles games, so I'll have plenty of opportunity to get Mukunda Easy down without having to think about it. And that's one's going to go onto the foot of Mukunda easy, and he was just barely on sides. Now he can't get around the defender, and the Deacons will take it away and boot it out. It's in the direction there, Drew Beiswenger, but that'll be taken away quickly here by Fargo Davies. On the near side, it's Jonas Adams. Adams with the centering pass, and that one will drop, and it looked like he was going to take a shot on goal there, but the pass was deflected by one of the Deacons defensemen. So Jonas Adams will pick it up once again. He'll dribble it back and kick and drop pass it back to his defenders over midfield. They'll try and reset as they put it onto the foot near side of Yannick Vetter. Vetter will move it up onto the foot of Shushan Rai. Rai on with one defender, sees the ball goes out of bounds, picks it up, hands it off to Vetter, who will make the toss for the throw-in. So Vetter will get it into Ryan, right back to Vetter. Now Vetter will try and scoop it back in. It gets deflected away, where Vetter will pick it up again. Try the centering pass, but it's intercepted there by Carter Jager, the sophomore for Shanley. A defenseman for the Deacons. Picked up there by Jack Anderson. And now a backheel pass there from, I couldn't quite see who that was. Oh, that was Mukunda Easy. Couple of passes later onto the foot of Patrick Lawrence, who loses it inside the 18, where the Deacon defenders will clear it out, and the Davies Eagles will pick it right back up again. They'll move it over far side, trying to make a move in, and it was a nice opportunity there, but just couldn't quite get the positioning that they need to get it through and get a shot on net. And now this could be, was it inside the 18? That's the question. If it was inside that yellow box, it's a penalty kick. If it was not, or was it offsides? I think he just put the flag up as offsides. That's what it was. There was no foul on that play. Oh, maybe there was a foul on the play, and it looks like we will have our first penalty kick of the year. We did not have one the other day against in our game between West Fargo and... So Jonas Adams will line up to take the kick. And it's in. Jonas Adams puts in the PK. Upper left corner of the net for the first score of the game. It comes with 26-37. We'll make that adjustment on our clock here. 26-37 to go here in the first half of play. 1-0 Fargo Davies Eagles. So at 26-37, Jonas Adams puts in the PK. He's a junior midfielder, and that makes it 1-0 in favor of Fargo Davies. So the Deacons will advance the ball up to the near sideline here onto the foot of Jorgen Dietz, a senior for the Shanley Deacons. That's taken away by the goal scorer on the PK, Jonas Adams. Tries to advance it up, and the whistle, the flag goes up. He is offsides. Just barely, though, by about a quarter of a step, he was offsides. Once again, if you're not familiar with the offside rule, when the pass is made to the teammate, that player cannot be in front of the final defender unless it's on this side of midfield. The player can come all the way up to the midfield line, but he has to wait there. If he crosses that line, then he has to stay behind the last defender. And the goalie does not count as that last defender. So that's how you determine if a player is offsides or not. Jonas Adams will pick it up, hand it off to Vetter. Vetter will put it in play. And Davies will lose it and maybe get it back. No, nice move there defensively, and I guess you could say offensively as well, depending on how you want to look at it there for Drew. I want to say Beiswenger. And, of course, we didn't start the clock, so we'll make that adjustment there. 25-14 and counting. And that will be scooped up there by Cole Jager, a sophomore goalkeeper for the Deacons. The ball quickly comes up to the other side of the field. It's picked up there by Jack Anderson on the far side. Defense for the Davies Eagles. Now a battle for the ball on the far sideline. Now squirt loose over the line, and that'll be an Eagles throw-in. Now it'll look like Jack Anderson will pick it up, toss it in. In the backfield, you got Jack Anderson, Skylar Smaby, and then also Ryder Schmidt. Your defenders here for the Eagles. Vetter, Adams, and Shushan Rai, your midfielders. And then up front for the Eagles at the moment here is Dylan Pritchard, Jonas Adams, and I couldn't quite see the other player. Looks like Caleb Glover, is up there. Ball will pop out of play over on the far side, picked up there by Adams. And he will toss it to his teammate. And check that. That was by Miniana. And now by Miniana falls down. He won't get up. Ball will be advanced over the midfield line. And it's a race for it on the far sideline. And both players will watch it go out of bounds for an Eagles throw-in. 23:47 and counting to go here in the first half of play, and it's 1-0 off a penalty kick by Jonas Adams at the 26:37 mark of the first half. They'll try the centering pass there, and that's booted away by Ryder Schmidt. And upfield now, and trying to break loose, and he got some hands in there to stop Patrick Lawrence. The defender was Carter Jager. And had it not been for that, and Jager probably lucky that they didn't blow a whistle on that one there. That's by Miniana. By Miniana trying to get around the defender, and he just missed it to the left side. It looked good coming off his foot, but it'll float to the left, and it will not go in. It'll remain 1-0. But add another shot on goal here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. 3 shots on net compared to just 1 for the Deacons. 22:40 and counting. Long goal kick there, and that's headed down just in front of midfield by the Davies Eagles. Now a loose ball will squirt over the midfield, and it'll be booted back to Jensen Waltz. Jensen Waltz got the right goalie there. Waltz will boot it back up where it's headed over there by the Deacons, Owen Mears. Now, loose ball, he was onside. He got in front of that defender. That is Kanye Billups. And Billups scores! He angles it in from the far side yellow line on the near side of the field, and he got it, snuck it in under the crossbar in front of the post there. So that'll stop the clock. 22:05. So the Davies Eagles off to a good start here as it's 2-0 now, thanks to the goal by Kanye Billups. 22:05, we'll start our clock here in a few seconds. When the game clock gets down to that 21:52 mark that you see on your screen, we'll start it. All right, we'll go ahead and start that clock now. Throw in from the near side here from Jorgen Deeks. That'll go into the middle, and this is an opportunity, but the ball squirted away. Deacons able to keep it. Got deflected off somebody's shoulder. I wasn't sure who, but it deflected off and over the crossbar. It looks like it was off in the shoulder of one of the Eagles because it's appearing to be a corner kick here for the Deacons. It was a golden opportunity for the Deacons. They couldn't quite cash in on it, though. Pass will come into the top of the 18. Nice header there from Carter Jager. Didn't quite get enough juice on that, though, but he did get it by all the defenders, but needed a little bit more juice to get it by the goalie, Jensen Waltz. 21:03 and counting to go here as the free kick will be set up for Fargo Shanley. Taking it is Owen Mears from about 32 yards out. He'll curve it in towards the far post, and jumping up and punching it away there is Jensen Waltz. And he wanted to take a shot there. Now he will take a shot, and it's headed away, keeping it out of the goal. Nice defensive play there by the Fargo Davies Eagles. I want to say that was Ryder Schmidt who headed it away, and it was. Picking it up now is Jack Anderson on the far side. He'll move it up. That's Muhammad Ali with the ball right now. He'll make a stutter step move to the right and to the left and now try and center it onto the foot of Kanye Billups, who scored one of the 2 goals there for the Fargo Davies Eagles. As the Eagles take it away, they'll advance it upfield. Billups is on his way, but getting there first is Cole Jager. Getting his hands on it and booting it away over to midfield where it's headed by Jonas Adams back into the offensive zone. And now we have a whistle and a foul. It'll result in a free kick here for the Deacons. 19:55 and counting. Nice kick. And neither team with clear possession of it right now, and I take that back. The Davies Eagles will have it. They'll move it up near sideline here. That's Dylan Pritchard. Pritchard will move it up to the near sideline and racing up for it. I believe that's Jonas Adams. And booting it away there is Owen Mears, a senior defenseman and forward. Right now he's playing defense for the Shanley Deacons. So Vetter will toss it in there onto the foot of Shushan Rai. I think that was Shushan Rai anyway. Number 6. Yeah. And that one will go into the hands of Jensen Waltz before the Deacons. That's Clevin Gladich, if I'm saying that right. He's a senior, number 19 for the Deacons. 19:03 and counting to go now. I believe that's Billups over on the far side. Either that or Ali, one of the two. They tried to move it in. A back heel kick out of bounds off the foot of Billups. So it was Ali who had the ball originally on that particular play. And that one's taken away. Eagles, both of these teams looking really good. The Eagles have picked up the pace here in the last few minutes, so there's no doubt about it here. Once again, the Deacons picked up a 3-0 win over Fargo North this past Tuesday. I believe that was a home game for them, if I'm not mistaken. They'll bounce it back to Mears here, and Mears will boot it up over midfield there. And headed out of bounds by Fargo Davies' Jack Anderson. And that one, well, he tried to sneak it down low on the far post. But right there, diving to his right, is Jensen Waltz, the junior goalkeeper for the Eagles, to keep it out. 2-0, 17:04 and counting to go here in the first half as Jensen will boot that one up over midfield. And the ball will eventually be picked up there by Fargo Shanley. With the ball is Dan Russell, a junior defenseman for the Deacons, and Russell will boot it upfield. And, ooh, that looked like a handball from my vision, but the ref was behind him, so he probably didn't see it. Eagles getting away with one there, possibly. That's Muhammad Ali over on the far side. Somebody's car alarm's going off. Not sure who, but... Just looked out. It's not my vehicle. I can tell you that much for sure. So if you have a car alarm, oh, they just shut it off. I apologize for the short, whatever happened there. It was a glitch. I'm not sure if we went off for a half a second or not, but to the best of my knowledge, we're back on. So now be taken away. Nice defensive play there by the freshman midfielder, Patrick Lawrence. I believe he's wearing Ethan Olsen's number from last year. We saw him score plenty of goals off free kicks for the Eagles last year. I think one of them is even in our opening highlights. I'm not sure, or if it wasn't today's opening highlights, it was in one of our previous opening highlight reels for our broadcast. 15:01 and counting to go here in the first half of play. Once again, it's a 2-0 lead off a penalty kick by Jonas Adams at 26:37. And then about a little over 4 minutes later, it was Kanye Billups putting it in from the near side yellow line on the near side of the field here, snuck it in to the net under the crossbar. Now that's taken away there. That's Dylan Pritchard. Pritchard trying to make a move. He gets pushed down, and no call on that one. The Deacons maybe got away with one there. Eagles will get it right back, and they got it in towards Billups, or check that, Ali. Yannick Vetter. Now Jonas Adams will pop it back there onto the foot of Ryder Schmidt. Schmidt will put it up in the direction of Ali, but it was taken away. Now a loose ball, still battling for it. Looks like the Davies will win it. That is Patrick Lawrence with a couple of nice moves there, and another couple nice moves to keep possession of the ball. They'll drop it back, and booting it up is Jack Anderson, where it's booted right back by a Deacon. Now it's Schmidt, Ryder Schmidt. One-on-one, pokes it away. Eagles will get it back. Now they'll put it onto the foot there. I believe that's Pritchard. Yep, it is. Pritchard will get around the defender and center it, but there's nobody there. That's going to be Deacon ball easily. It'll be touched up there by Cole Jagger, and he'll pop it over to the far side of the field with 13:29 to go here. Ooh, collision right around the 40-yard line there, and let's see here. Did he motion to stop the clock? I thought I saw him put his hands up in an X, and then he took his hands down right away. So the clock is now stopped at 3:16. So we'll stop the clock here, or 13:16, excuse me, as we have an injury timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. Be right back here in a moment on the Andy Sports Channel.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
All right, well, I need to catch my breath, but perfect timing there as we were able to get the batteries changed in that crowd mic. And for some reason, it's still not working. So we apologize for that. All right, so the throw-in is going to come near sideline here for the Fargo Shanley Deacons tilt the camera. There we go. Now it comes in. All right, so that'll be picked up there by Ryder Schmidt. Schmidt will center it onto the foot of Jack Anderson, who will boot it up over midfield. Catching up to it there's Carter Jager, the sophomore, and now it looks like the Jager will have to reposition himself to gain control of that ball as it's taken away now by Fargo Davies' Patrick Lawrence. So 11 minutes to go now here in the first half. It's a 2-0 lead for Fargo Davies. Shots on net unofficially 4-2. Second game of the fall sports season here. We have their first one between West Fargo and Grand Forks Central. A game that West Fargo actually led 1-0 through all the first half. Well, it was 0-0 until they scored, and then all the first half and about the first half of the second half, and then Grand Forks Central gets 2 goals nearly back-to-back, and they sneak in a third one a little bit later. And talk about goal number 3. It could happen right there. Oh, by Miniana had an opportunity, but he couldn't quite get it up over the goalie of Cole Jager, and Jager was able to keep that one in front of his chest and keep it out of the net, and it remains 2-0 in favor of Fargo Davies. A little bit over 10 minutes to go here in the first half of play, excuse me. Nice sliding and clean tackle. He got all ball on that one, and that's the type of tackle you want to see in high school. You don't want to get any part of the player. Otherwise, they would have blew a whistle on that one. So here's another opportunity, and it's by Miniana, and it will sneak in. By Miniana will get credit for the goal. I believe it was possibly an own goal off a defensive header attempt. Kessler was in the area, and it's the guy in the goal getting up right now. Not to take a peek through the binoculars. Can't quite see who that is off. Okay, so they're not going to give him credit for that goal yet. It'll be a corner kick for Fargo Davies, so no goal. So they're making an adjustment on the net there. It appears to have come off the crossbar on the near side. So that'll put a stop on the clock at 9 minutes and 24 seconds to go here. All right, so a near goal, but they're saying it went out of bounds. And that may have had something to do with the netting issue there. The ball did go into the goal, but it may have gone in over the crossbar and down through the opening in the net on the back side, which is hard to see from our vantage point up here, but that would be my best guess as to why that goal was not allowed, because it wasn't a goal to start with. Let's see what By Miniana can do this time. By Miniana will push it up there. I think on the far side there, that might have been Patrick Lawrence. Nice diving stop. Diving to his left there was Cole Jager. So once again, second game of the fall sports season. We had to make some adjustments in our first game. We made those adjustments, and now we have to make one more adjustment in this game, or after this game for our next game, and that has to do with that crowd mic. And I know exactly what's wrong, and unfortunately I can't do anything about it due to the placement of the equipment right now. So we apologize. I'll go in and out. We'll do the best we can to keep you entertained here without much background noise there. Just under 8 minutes to go now here in the first half. 2-0, nearly 3-0 moments ago for Fargo Davies. 7:45 and counting to go. Throwing from the Deacons is headed right back out by the Davies defenseman, and they'll chase it down and try that one over again. Chasing it down is Jordan Miranda, a senior midfielder for the Shanley Deacons. And he'll make the toss. And that'll be booted out of bounds. Oh, no, it'll stay in bounds. It did not go out of play. And now right at the top of the 18, and a defensive move there by the Eagles. It's taken away by Fargo Shanley's Ben Leviska, if I'm saying that correctly. Shot there from Owen Mears got blocked. And that's a through ball, and he's on sides by Miniana. No, he cannot get it by Owen Mears. Or check that. Cole Jagger, excuse me. I had the wrong Shanley player there. Some nice goaltending there by Cole Jagger. And now Jensen Waltz will boot it away up to the near sideline and out of bounds for a Deacon throw-in. He'll come in just to the left side of your camera here. Maybe, or if he doesn't, the ball will. He's taking his time right now. There you go. You can see him now. That's Muhammad Ali. Ali gets it to Miniana again. Miniana will get by Cole Jagger this time, but defenders will catch up to him. He'll have to drop it back onto the foot of Jonas Adams. Adams has some skills to get through those defenders. He'll drop it back. I don't know if he dropped it back or if it got punched away from him, but either way, the Davies Eagles will keep control of the ball. Now a centering pass will go right into the hands of Cole Jagger, and that will momentarily stop the attack for the Fargo Davies Eagles with just under 5.5 to go here in the first half of play. Ball will hop out of bounds. I believe that's an Eagles throw-in, and it is. Looks like Vetter will take the throw-in. Yannick Vetter is a junior defenseman for the Eagles this year. Caleb Glover back into the lineup here for Fargo Davies Eagles. Throwing was in the direction of Muhammad Ali, but it was taken away there by, Ben Leviska, if I'm saying that correctly. And now here's another opportunity, and that'd be Muhammad Ali with the goal. It's 3-0, Fargo Davies Eagles. That goal comes with 4:41 to go here in the first half. All right, we're going to try that. Hopefully we'll have a crowd mic for the rest of this game here. It's not how I'd like to have my equipment set up, but it'll work. The only one who gets to see it set up this way is me, so and you get to enjoy the broadcast how we intended it to be. Matter of fact, we might be able to make an adjustment here at halftime. Feels like we've been playing this one for a while, to be honest with you. ball will go out of bounds. I believe that's a corner kick for Eagles, and it will be. Bill Mukunda Easy is back into the lineup here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. And it'll be Shushan Rai, I believe. Let me double check the binoculars here. Yes, Shushan Rai will take the corner kick. And he'll center that one in. And bring it back out top of the 18, taking a couple dribbles, setting up for the shot, and puts it up high. That was Jonas Adams. Once again, those shots on net are unofficial, but they're pretty close. They're probably within one of being accurate. A little over 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Fargo Davies Eagles here over the visiting Shanley Deacons from about 3 minutes up the road. By car, or about 7 minutes by foot. 5.5 minutes by bicycle, depending on how you want to travel. As they're all unofficial times. Minute 50 to go here. Deacons will have the ball on the far sideline, trying to center it there, but couldn't quite get it through the legs of the Eagles defenders. Ball will scoot around. Deacons will keep control of it, at least for the moment. I believe that's Jonas Adams. Jonas Adams will dribble around a couple of defenders. Now he'll boot it up. He'll ricochet off the Deacon and right onto the foot of Muhammad Ali. Ali will have that one punched away there by Ethan Kessler. And now, ooh, nice job there by Cole Jager, as that was Pablo Nunez, number 10. I think that was number 10. Let me take a peek through the binoculars there. Check that, that was number 18. That is Bill Mukunda Easy. 1 minute to go. Jonas Adams pushes it up to the far sideline where the Eagles are trying to work it up the field. Back onto the foot of Jonas Adams. He'll try and get around the defender and dribble it back. Now a drop pass back to Ryder Schmidt in the backfield. Schmidt will drop it even further back to Jensen Waltz. Waltz will set it up and give it right back to Schmidt. Schmidt will let it go through his legs and get it onto the foot of Jonas Adams. Adams will try and move it up over the side, over the midfield mark, and he does so successfully. Now he has a choice to make here, and he'll pass it off into the direction there of Logan Hammer, a freshman defenseman for the Fargo Davies Eagles. Has the ball right now. Tried the centering pass. It was knocked down by Muhammad Ali, and now 2 touches later, back onto the foot of Jonas Adams. Adams with a nice pass, and he was onside on the far, and the ball goes out of bounds. Or was he offsides? Now the flag goes up saying he was offsides. And we have about 5 seconds remaining here in the first half, and that will bring us to halftime, friends. With your score, the Fargo Davies Eagles 3, and the Fargo Shanley Deacons nothing. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have your halftime numbers right after this on the ND Sports Channel.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Download Game Time today.
The North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843. Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
All right, welcome back. We're at halftime here as the Fargo Davies Eagles lead right now over the Shanley Deacons 3-0. The first goal came off a penalty kick from Jonas Adams at the 26:37 mark of the first half of play. And then just a little bit over 4 minutes later, Kanye Billups would get the goal, a sophomore forward for Fargo Davies. And then it would be, you fast forward about maybe 16 or 17 minutes, and Muhammad Ali would sneak one into the net at the 4:41 mark. He almost had a fourth goal there, but I believe what happened was there was a hole in the net, and the ball actually went over the crossbar on a defensive header, which we thought was going to be possibly an own goal. But then they took a look at the net and they got it fixed as it came detached from the crossbar. And we're guessing that ball went into the net over the top of the crossbar and down. So that's the reason why that goal did not count, to the best of our speculation anyway. So I want to say hi to Terry. Thanks so much for watching, Terry. Appreciate doing that. And for the notes there too, and I see by your message there that we need to wish you some good luck there, as he's watching from a hospital room, as he has some family in the hospital right now. So we certainly appreciate that we can get the game on for you there, and that's always been one of our goals, is to get the game on for the people who cannot be here for whatever the reason that may be. So thanks so much for watching, Terry. For everybody else watching, you can text us at 701-373-1873, and you can say hi, and we'll definitely give you a shout out, and we'll try and keep our eyes. Those messages come to our station cell phone right here at the broadcast booth. You may have noticed in the first half there, we had a couple different camera angles there, fading in and out. That's a new element to our broadcast, and that's thanks to about, I'd say last year we made about 3,000 or 4,000 in donations on our website. So it's because of you that this has been made possible, and we thank you so much. Part of that is thanks to sponsorships, and so we thank all of our sponsors as well for making these games possible too. So we're going to still work on that. We have a total of, we have a bunch of equipment now. Let's put it that way. I won't give away too many secrets, but we have a bunch of equipment, and it's working well, as long as we have the manpower to work it all. So that is that's the update on that. So once again, 26-37, Jonas Adams made it 1-0 off a penalty kick. And then it would be Kanye Billups at the 22:05 mark, and then Muhammad Ali at the 4:41 mark to bring us to our halftime score of 3-0 in favor of Fargo Davies. We're about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. We're back after this on the ND Sports Channel.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
All right, welcome back here to the Fargo Davies Eagles and the Fargo Shanley Deacons. 3-0 Eagles at halftime here on the ND Sports Channel on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Check out our website at msportsnet.com. Watch the games on your home TV via the YouTube app. Also on the YouTube app on your phone or on a desktop computer or laptop at our YouTube page. And we're underway here with the second half with the Fargo Davies Eagles moving from left to right, and the Fargo Shanley Deacons in their white jerseys, moving from right to left, as you see it on your screen there. That's a shot on net that will go just to the right side. Once again, I want to say hi to Terry, and thanks for the messages, and we were able to make the needed corrections to make it work today, and on all future games, we'll make sure we put it in the right spot. The receiver was not in the line of sight with the microphone. That's what the deal was in that first half. It's by Miniana on the near sideline here as I step on the cord here. Miniana will get it in. I believe that is Muhammad Ali. Back over to By Miniana, trying to center it. Ali tried to swat it down with his foot there, but it got away from him. Now the ball will escape up to the near sideline and out of bounds for a throw-in. And we'll have a stoppage in the clock, and that's fine because we never started the clock apparently. So there you go, now the clock is working. You may have, if you watched any of the hockey games last year, we gave up on using the clock on hockey and basketball. And now we got a brand new software that clock works a little bit easier. It's not always synced, it's usually within a second or two, but it stops and it starts when I ask it to stop and start, unless I just totally forget. And then we'll manually reset it, and that only takes a couple of seconds to do that. So free kick here with 38:07 and counting to go in the second half of play. A 3-0 lead off a penalty kick and 2 goals for the Fargo Davies Eagles in the first half of play. And now another whistle, and we'll have a free kick here for Fargo Shanley. Once again, the lights are on. We're at about 71 degrees here as we hit a couple minutes before 8 o'clock here on the ND Sports Channel. Sunset is 8:25, and the free kick is right on goal and right on top of the goal from about 40 yards away. So, Jensen Waltz will put it down for a goal kick, and he'll boot that one away. Go over to the far sideline and bounce out of bounds for a Deacon throw-in. 37 and just under 37 and a half to go here in the second half of play. Once again, we'll have primarily the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo Davies Eagles for our soccer coverage this year. We will sneak a couple other games in there that do not feature the Eagles or the Packers. One of these teams has 7, the other one has 6. I can't remember who has which. But the only reason why we weren't able to even that one up is there's another shot up high over the net. The only reason why we're not able to even that one up is because with the way the Eagles and the Packers schedules lined up, it just wasn't possible. It just absolutely wasn't possible. So one team has one more game than the other one. We did our best to even that up, but 2 matchups, one in early September and one in late September will be your state championship rematches between the Eagles and the Packers. Eagles looking to get one back. There's another shot on goal, and here's the Deacons now putting a lot of shots on goal. I believe they had like 3 shots on net, and now they've already put 4 on here in the first 4 minutes, 36 minutes to go. Ball will come loose over midfield on the far sideline where it's picked up there by Owen Mears for the Deacons, and he'll boot it up and out of bounds, and that should be an Eagles throw-in. Just issued a high pollen alert here in the South Fargo area. Pollen, ragweed, nettle, and sagebrush / sage. So pollen alert has been issued for our current location. Here's an opportunity for the nice save there by the Cole Jager, and now here comes By Miniana and he tried to put it up and in. That one got deflected off the shin guard of, let's see here, number 8. That's Jace Dew. And that will go out of bounds for a corner kick for the Fargo Davies Eagles from the far side. So, oh, we apologize there. I meant to have that camera view up, and I apologize. So the corner kick will be angled in right in front of the 6-yard line and then booted away by Owen Mears and the Deacons and headed right back into the zone. Nice flip toss there from Adams to Miniana, who I believe intended to put a shot on goal, but it may have gotten deflected off a part of the foot there of Fargo Shanley's Ethan Kessler, and that will allow the ball to go out of bounds and result in a goal kick here for Cole Jager, the sophomore goalie for Fargo Shanley. 34:09 to go as the wind starts to pick up a little bit. We started this match, I believe it was 73 at the 7 o'clock kickoff, and we were supposed to stay no lower than like 68, 69 degrees. So I'll have to check the current temperature, and it is 69 right now. It's still under some sunshine. There's not a whole lot of clouds in the sky, if any at all. There might be a couple shreds of clouds up there, but barely noticeable. Far side there, that's Shushan Rai for the Davies Eagles. Trying to get around a handful of Deacon defenders. Nice slide tackle there, clean tackle for the Deacons. Loose ball picked up by the Deacons, and now the battle for the ball at midfield. The ball comes loose, and it's eventually picked up by Jonas Adams. Adams kind of stumbling over the feet of a couple Deacon defenders there, and now making a move there is Carter Jager. Jager will pass it near side. Couldn't quite catch who that was. They'll put it back onto the foot of Landon Auden. Auden will have it taken away. That's by Miniana. Miniana will feed it up. Jonas Adams going to try and race through, but booting it back there for the Deacons was Ethan Kessler, and the Deacons will retake control of the ball. Muhammad Ali will punch it away and be picked up on the foot there of Dylan Pritchard. Pritchard gets it over to Miniana. Miniana just outside of the 18. A centering pass to Muhammad Ali through his legs, picked up by Jonas Adams, who tries to take a shot. And now the Deacons will take the ball away. Eagles will get it right back, get it on, or through the legs of Miniana. It was in the direction of him. Gets it by, that's Pritchard with a centering pass, and Jonas Adams was there, but he couldn't connect, and that would have been a sweet goal had he connected on that one. There was no chance for Jager to save that one had Jonas Adams made a connection. That's the type, that's almost like a one-timer in hockey. That's how quick that ball would have went towards the goal. And there's an opportunity, and it's off the crossbar and on the outside. Lucky break, wow. Dylan Pritchard almost had a goal, but it bounced off Jager and another Deacon player, and then off the far right post and out of bounds. Near opportunity there for Fargo Davies. Ball comes up to midfield with Dylan Pritchard will get a touch on it. It'll be taken away there by Dan Russell. Russell, a junior for the Deacons. Now we're on the far side, it's Auden. Auden will lose the ball, but there's a whistle on a free kick coming from Fargo Davies. Once again, this game will be available for a 24/7 replay on our website within about 20 to 30 minutes after the conclusion of our post-game show, which will be coming up here in approximately 30 minutes or so. Just under 31 minutes to go here in the second half. And a 3-0 lead for the Davies Eagles. There has been some rule changes in the sport of soccer since the girls' season to now the boys' season. And one of those rules goes into effect when 5 minutes remain in the second half. In this case, if the Davies Eagles will hold on to this 3-0 lead, then a substitution by the Eagles would not stop the clock because they will be in the lead, but a substitution for the Deacons would stop the clock. Once again, that's only within 5 minutes. If the substitution happens at 5:01, the clock will continue to count down. It's only inside that 5-minute mark. And that is a national rule change. Applies to every high school in the United States. That'll be booted away there by Fargo Shanley's Carter Jager, sophomore defenseman for the Deacons. Picked up far side there by Fargo Davies' Jack Anderson. Now Ryder Schmidt will let that ball get behind him, and it'll be picked up by Jensen Waltz. Waltz will come back towards the center of the 18 and boot it up towards the far sideline. Sneak back into the middle of the field. Loose ball picked up by the Deacons and booted back in the direction of, that was Jordan Dietz, a senior from Oak Grove. Ball goes out of bounds for a Fargo Davies throw-in. That's Jonas Adams here on the far side. Now Miniana has it. Nice dribbling, nice passing there. Jonas Adams tried to sneak it back to Miniana. It'll be kept in just inside there by Skylar Smaby. Smaby back to Jonas Adams. About 40 yards away from the goal, he'll center it. And that'll be taken away by the Deacons, and then a nice defensive move there. Eagles almost got it back, but the Deacons will maintain possession. With the ball right now is Landon Auden. And there's gonna be a push from Jonas Adams, no call. Maybe a little bit surprised on that one. Jonas Adams will keep the ball, and he'll center it in. Will be booted away there by a Deacon defender, and it comes right back, and maybe getting away with a handball there with Skylar Smaby. It looked like it hit his left arm right in the elbow area. I mean, if you're not familiar with the handball rule, it doesn't have to be the physical hand. Any part of the arm all the way up to the shoulder can be called as a handball here in the sport of soccer. 27:47 and counting to go here. Ball goes out of bounds, far side into the Eagles bench. 27.5 to go now. So we'll stop our clock for about 10 seconds or so and allow the game clock to catch up. 27:07 officially, as I say it. And it counts down a couple seconds. And now we're ready to go. We can start the clock up again. Just under 27 minutes to go here in the first half. And that is right on with the game clock on the field at the moment anyway. It's actually about a half a second off, but we'll go with it. So just keep in mind that time is unofficial within about a second or two. Ball will go out of bounds. That'll be Jonas Adams picking it up here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. Adams will drop it back. Back to Adams on the near sideline here. Adams will make a move inside. Move the ball up. Here's an opportunity for Fargo Davies. That's cleared away by the Deacons defenders and out of bounds. That'll give us a chance to make an adjustment on that camera there.
On for Davies, number 2, Dylan Pritchard. Number 18, Bill Ubu-Diase. And number 22, Kanye Billups.
Mukunda Easy checks back into the lineup here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. He's wearing jersey number 18. He's a sophomore forward. And now there's a collision inside, and that will stop the clock with 24:48. They should have stopped the clock. The ref put his hands up to stop the clock. Clock at the moment is still rolling. So we'll go, yeah, see the official just once again told them to stop the clock and they didn't. So we'll take about 30 seconds off and restart it here, and to the best of our knowledge, there we go, now they stopped the clock. So if 24:23 will be the official time here.
Go, Deacons!
For Davies, 14, Logan Hammer.
Both the Deacons and the Eagles, they started out this game, like the first 7-8 minutes or so, pretty strong, and they looked like pretty even teams. And then the Eagles would get that first goal off the penalty kick, and the momentum just basically shifted in favor of the Eagles ever since then. And right now, it's based upon what I'm witnessing, it's for the most part all Eagles here in the second half, although the Deacons did come out with about 4 or 5 shots on goal. To pretty much all back-to-back to start the second half, and they haven't done much since then. Eagles trying to keep it in there, and Deacons doing everything they can to make sure that ball doesn't go any further forward. And now here's a nice move, and the Deacons will get it out of the zone for the moment. They'll try and boot it in, but the ball gets loose. It's going to be a race to the near sideline for it. Skylar Smaby will take the toss. He's just off camera. There you go. Now he's on camera. So the throw-in will come into the near sideline. And the Eagles will maintain possession of it, trying to work it in there. I believe Muhammad Ali was in the mix of all those defenders. No, check that. That was Kanye Billups. He scored one of the 3 goals back in the first half. Both Billups and Ali with similar hairstyles. At least from a distance, they look similar. Up close, they don't look similar at all. 21:40 and counting to go. Jonas Adams will watch the ball get by him onto the foot of Dylan Pritchard. Pritchard will center it, and that was a nice placement of that centering pass, but moving up on it was Caleb Glover, and he was not able to maintain possession or make a move on that one. And now the Deacons will try and move it upfield. Auden will pass it near side onto the foot of Jorgen Dietz. Dietz with a move, now a centering pass, trying to angle it. That one's going to go out of bounds. The Deacons won't get to it. And that'll be a goal kick here for the Fargo Davies Eagles with 21-13 and counting to go here in the second half of play.
Shanley, number 2, Jordan Miranda. And for Davies, number 5, Patrick Lawrence.
Trying to make another adjustment on that camera there for you. Do our best to get all the players on the field in camera when, especially on that near sideline, it was kind of tough trying to make that adjustment there. Just over 20 minutes to go here in the second half. All 3 goals scored in the first half by the Davies Eagles. A penalty kick by Jonas Adams at 26:37. And then at 22:05, it was Kanye Billups. And then at 4:41, Muhammad Ali would sneak in goal number 3. Shanley has more shots on net than the Eagles have in this second half, but the Eagles closing in on that gap too. Stat that doesn't necessarily matter right now. Eagles will give the Deacons as many shots on net as they want, as long as none of them go into the net, at least not more than 2 of them. So, and that would be reminiscent of all Eagles fans out there. Once again, for the Deacon fans watching, we know that your home games are on Shanley TV, and we certainly appreciate your efforts to get all the Deacon games on online, and we'll try and get it to as many road games as we can. And for the Eagles games, or for the Eagles fans, we certainly appreciate you watching today as well. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here as we, I wouldn't say struggle, but it's definitely something we need to get used to with the more equipment than we had last season. So, corner kick from the far side here for the Deacons. Can't quite see. Let's see. I won't have time to peek through the binoculars. That'll be headed up, and I believe it was Jonas Adams who initially made touch on it. Now the ball will squirt loose over to the far sideline, booted back up, and then headed away there by Jack Anderson. Once again, Fargo Davies and West Fargo state championship rematches. One coming up in early September, one coming up in late September. We'll have both of those matchups, one here at Fargo Davies, the other one at West Fargo High School, live on the A&D Sports Channel for you. West Fargo getting upset on their first ever varsity game on their new turf field by Grand Forks Central on Tuesday. That was a game we had for you. You can watch that game if you'd like. It's available on our YouTube channel. West Fargo had a 1-0 lead, scoring about midway through the first half, if memory serves me correctly, and then they maintain that 1-0 lead through the remainder of the first half, and about a good first half of the second half as well. And then Grand Forks Central scored 2 nearly back-to-back. I don't think it was more than 90 seconds apart, and then they would sneak a third one in, and it was all over for West Fargo after that, as they would not be able to get any momentum to get any quality shots on net. And Grand Forks Central would upset the Packers 3-1 in the Packers' first game on their turf field at West Fargo High School. So they'll play, those two teams will play again up in Grand Forks at Cushman Field a little bit later this season. We'll see if the Packers can get one back or not. There's a through ball, but a little bit too strong for Dylan Pritchard to catch up to it. And that'll be booted away there by Cole Jager, the Shanley Deacon goalie. And now picking it up on the near sideline is Jordan Miranda. Miranda will boot it up, and picking it up there is Evan Reinholtz. Reinholtz gave it up, couldn't quite see who that was. Now he'll put it onto the foot there, Carter Jager, and Jager will see that ball float to the right side of the goal. Another shot on goal for the Deacons, and one more shot on net, and now unofficially even the numbers up at 9 shots on net for each team.
Shanley, number 11, Armin Anderson.
Armin Anderson, a senior goalkeeper originally, will come in and play. I'll have to see if I can find out what his jersey number is. It's, I believe he's number 11. We'll see if we can find a number 11 out there on the field over the next few seconds here. And then I can tell you what he's playing. Unless he's wearing a different jersey number. I don't see 11 out there right now. Peek at the binoculars on the far side. Nope, I don't see number 11. So I'm not sure which jersey number he is, but he's playing right now, I can tell you that much. Just under 15 and a half to go here in the second half. Deacons would like to get at least one goal in and get the goose egg off. If not, come back and make a momentum shift here and maybe tie this one up. They've had a couple of quality opportunities here in the second half, but haven't been able to cash in on any of them. That could have been another one. That was another shot that will float over to the right side of the goal, but that will even it up at about 9 shots on net for each team in this contest. But like I said a little bit ago, that's not the stat that matters right now.
Shanley, number 18, Kyle Stitch. And for Davies, number 6, Shushan Rye. Number 12, Gavin Drake.
So Waltz will boot that one away. It'll be collected there by Ali, just shy of midfield. He'll put it onto the foot of Jonas Adams. Adams will pop it out near side here onto the foot of Smaby. Smaby boots it up there for Shushan Rye. Rye back into Jonas Adams, and that one comes away, and it's chested down there by Smaby. Smaby makes some contact, and now there's a whistle here, and the clock will stop with 14:04 to go. And we'll have a yellow card. A yellow card is delivered to Skylar Smaby. I'm not exactly sure what he did. I was not looking at that part of the play when the whistle blew, but he'll get the yellow card nonetheless.
On for Davies, number 16, Alex Anderson.
That yellow card comes at the 14:04 mark for Smaby. And the free kick will go just in front of the 18. That one ricocheted off somebody, I'm not sure who. And now the ball's booted up into the air, and it's knocked down there by the Deacons' Dan Russell. We move it back inside. Nice move there by Kyle Stitch, a junior midfielder for the Deacons. And now here's a shot on net, and that'll be swallowed up by the arms of Jensen Waltz. 10 shots on net for the Deacons, but they've not been able to sneak one of those in. They've had more quality chances here in the second half than they have in the first half. That much we can say for sure. Coming up here in approximately 13 minutes or so, we'll take a break and go into our post-game show. We'll select a player of the game. We'll take a look at the upcoming game schedule, get you set for the next game, and wrap this one up with your final numbers. And that's all coming up in about 13 minutes from now here on the ND Sports Channel. So we hope that you stay tuned for that, because, well, if you don't, you won't know who the player of the game is. And we have a couple of candidates to choose from. It's not an easy decision right now at this point. Maybe one of the 4 candidates can do something special here and put himself in the lead for good. And one of those 4 candidates just passed the ball away. And now they'll work it inside. And that ball is dangerously in close. Shot on net, I believe that was Ali. The Deacons successfully defending that, no whistle blown. And now Jack Anderson will put it onto the foot there of Alex Anderson. Or no, check that. Yes, that was Jack Anderson. Now Alex Anderson, wearing number 16 for the Fargo Davies Eagles, along the near sideline here. Into the matchup for, I believe, the first time. I don't think I've seen him out there prior to that. 12 minutes to go. The Deacons on the move here, but first they got to get around Jonas Adams, and they fail on that one. So Jonas Adams, we saw him, he's a good soccer player. We saw a lot of skillful moves from Jonas Adams last season, and there's another one. Almost gets tripped up and stays on his feet. Coming out is Jagger to make sure that Davies Eagles don't put a 4th goal into the net. At least for now anyway. 11 and a half minutes to go, and the Eagles pressuring. Eagles maybe with a little bit of rust in that first couple games of the season. They won the first one. I can't remember who they played or what the score was, but I know they fell to Bismarck Century in the second game of the year. I think it was 3-1 if I remember correctly. There's another shot on net. That one goes up a little bit high and over the crossbar for a goal kick for the Fargo Davies Eagles, and that'll bring us under the 11-minute mark of the ball game here. So in the near future, the player will return here, and now he's set up in the corner for the kick. Eagles will pop it out of bounds, this time for a throw-in on the far side for the Deacons. So corner kick turns into a throw-in from the opposite side of the field. And the toss will come in, and it'll be headed out of bounds, and guess what? We'll come back to the near side for another corner kick for the Deacons. 10:05 to go here. Oh, no, they'll take the far side corner kick, excuse me. Corner kick will come in. That's punched over the goal and out of bounds. I think it's a near side corner kick. I think. I'm not sure. I think the Davies Eagles touched it last, and that is indeed the case. So we'll have a near side corner kick now. Jordan Miranda took the kick from the far side. Now he takes the kick from the near side, and he'll take another kick from the near side, as that was immediately punched out of bounds off the foot of Jonas Adams. 9:17 and counting to go. So Miranda with another corner kick. That one's headed by Ali. Shot on goal, and that's punched down. It lands right in front. That was one of the best opportunity of the game here for the Fargo Shanley Deacons, and a little bit of ricocheting, and it'll be another corner kick off the foot of Jonas Adams once again. If they would have gotten that one in, it may have given them enough momentum to maybe mount a comeback here. They still have that opportunity if they can score here in the next minute or so. After that, it's going to be a huge uphill climb for the Shanley Deacons. As the kids run up the stairway, and our crowd mic picks that up. Muhammad Ali with the ball now. Trying to get around a couple of defenders. Got clipped there, but successfully gets the ball to Patrick Lawrence. Lawrence will drop it back to the defenders. The defenders will pop it upfield in the direction there of Shushan Rai. Shushan Rai as well as Patrick Lawrence in on the mix there, and Ali too. Now the ball comes loose, battle for it, and Jonas Adams will pick it up. Drop it back to the defender. Defender looking for a pass, gets it right back to Muhammad Ali. Ali trying to make a few moves around the defender. He'll drop it back just over midfield. 2 touches later, goes back onto the foot of Jonas Adams. They'll advance it up, far side. He was onside, now he's in front of the defender, and he's gonna get tripped up, and no whistle. Ref shook his hand saying play on. A couple of the Fargo Davies fans, matter of fact, more than a couple of them, don't agree with that call. 7.5 to go here. You may have heard the moans and groans in the background. Not 100% sure on that. I know I heard them, but then I'm right behind the crowd too. So 7:20 to go here. Deacons fans have traveled well here to Fargo Davies. Of course, it's easy to say that when you don't have to travel too far. So I guess that depends on where you live. Here's a through ball, and that one will just be out of the speed zone of Shushan Rai, as I'll get to Jagger first. and the Deacons will bring it back the other way. But a nice move there, a little stutter step slide tackle by Jonas Adams, and he'll bring it up the near sideline. Looking for a centering pass, possibly. No, he's going to make a move around the defender, and I think he wanted to take a shot, but he may have tripped up over his own feet. And in order to keep his balance, he had to watch the ball go out of bounds. That was an excellent move there by Jonas Adams, though. Now set up a goal kick for sophomore goalie Cole Jager. 6:10 and counting to go now as the Deacons will move the ball over midfield, or it's picked up by the Eagles right away. Near side here, that is, refresh my memory, that's Mukunda Easy. Mukunda Easy. He is a sophomore this year. He was not on the team last year, so that even the head coach said, your guess is as good as mine on Mukunda Easy. So, but both coach and I came to the agreement that that sounded like the best pronunciation for his name, so that's what we're going with until somebody from his family tells us differently, or anybody will tell us differently for that matter. 5:20 and counting to go. Once again, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and get mobile alerts every time we go on the air with either West Fargo or Fargo Davies soccer game. Those are the two teams that will have primary coverage of this soccer season. And after the soccer season comes to a conclusion in early October, we'll flip the coverage to Fargo South volleyball, and we even have a couple of swim meets. We're going to try it this year, see how it goes. We'll have Fargo South, Fargo North swim meet on September 12th. And then a couple of weekends later, I can't remember the exact day or date, but Fargo South will host Moorhead in a swim meet, and we'll have those two swim meets this year on the ND Sports Channel. And depending on how those swim meets go, we might schedule more coming up in the future sports seasons. We're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I can't speak for everybody on the staff, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. So there we go. Get some lights on here in the press box. As just now noticed that it's not as bright as it was back at 7 o'clock. 8:33. Sunset was at 8:25, and the current temperature right now here at 8:33 is. The current temperature is 66 degrees. We weren't supposed to drop below 68, but apparently that has happened. So it's a little bit chillier out there now, but nothing to complain about. You don't want to start worrying until it gets into those low 50s probably. Low to mid 50s is probably when you want to start thinking about. Nice diving grab there by Cole Jager. Who cares about the temperature? 3:35 to go there. And the ball will scoot out of bounds on the far side for a throw-in. Actually, it'd be a free kick from about 44 yards away from the goal. Jonas Adams will line up for the free kick. And he'll put it in, and he'll be booted out there by the Deacons defenders. Picked up by Carter Jager, the brother of goalie Cole Jager. At least I believe they're brothers anyway. 2:40 to go here in the second half, and the Davies Eagles will more than likely take home another W here on their home field. I'd have to look back to see when the last time they lost at home was. I can't imagine it was any time recently. Don't quote me on this, but I think the last non-win was the tie against West Fargo last year. I can't remember if that was the first or second game of the season. the first or second meeting of the season is what I meant to say there. Just under 2 minutes to go here in this matchup. And barring a miraculous turnaround here, it looks like the Fargo Davies will pick up the W in this matchup, as the ball will scoot out of bounds. Making the toss is going to be Alex Anderson. Clock will stop with 1:35 on the substitution for Fargo Shanley. Or for Fargo Davies, excuse me. I think both teams made a substitution, actually.
149, please. 149.
They want to reset the clock to 1:49, and we'll do the same. It may say 1:32 until I actually start the clock.
For Davies, number 2, Dylan Pritchard, and number 22, Kanye Billups.
All right, so the clock starts now. Push it up to about 1:47. Make it about 1:43 now. With the ball is Owen Mears. He'll boot it up to the far sideline, racing it down on the far sideline. Can't quite see the jersey number through the glare of the glass on the far side of the field. Let's take a peek through the binoculars here, and it appeared to possibly be Logan Hammer on the far side, but couldn't quite tell. Could easily see that far side of the field prior to the sun going down, but now the lights from the far side reflecting off the glass makes it a little bit more difficult. As Muhammad Ali, who booted up in the direction of Kanye Billups. Billups has one of the 3 goals here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. And now that is Mukunda Easy. Mukunda Easy, one touch will go away, and Dylan Pritchard will battle for the ball over on the far side there, and ball still loose, and it squirts over to the far sideline out of bounds for an Eagles throw in. Just under a minute to go, 43 seconds and counting. You might hear the PA announcer in the background say 10:98, and our clock might say 9:87 when he starts counting 10:98. So it's about a half a second off right now. So just an FYI on that. So the final seconds will tick away on this one. And the Fargo Davies Eagles will go away with a 3-0 win, barring a lucky kick here in the next 4 seconds. And that lucky kick will not happen. And that is your final score. Fargo Davies Eagles 3, the Shanley Deacons 0. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll have your post-game show coming up next here on the ND Sports Channel.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
All right, welcome back here. Your post-game show. Final score: the Fargo Davies Eagles will knock off the Shanley Deacons with a final of 3-0 off goals by Jonas Adams, Kanye Billups, and Mohammed Ali. All of them scored in the first half of play. No goals scored in the second half, although a ton of shots on goal, especially to start off the second half for Fargo Shanley. And then about 3/4 of the way through the second half, they had a plunder of shots on goals as well for the Deacons, but they weren't able to sneak any of those into the net. Coming up here, we'll select the player of the game. We'll take a look at our upcoming stream broadcast schedule and tell you how you can find us on social media in case you didn't know. There may have been a couple of changes you might want to be aware of, and then we'll wrap up all our post-game show here as we enter in our final segment of the post-game show. Let's take a look at where the visiting Shanley Deacons stack up now here after the loss. They fall to 1-1. Let's see here. I think that's wrong. 1-1-0? Yeah, no, that's right. 1 win and 2 losses. That should say 1-2-0. And I'm not sure why that didn't update, so I apologize for you. I hit save, but let's see if we can't update that right now. They started off with that 3-1 loss to the Jamestown Blue Jays in the East-West crossover. And then they'd pick up their first win over Fargo North. I wanted to say here at home, but it's actually just up a couple minutes at home. And let's see here. It should say. There we go. I think it'll update now. There we go. Now that's accurate. 1-2-0 on the year, and both of those losses come on the road or neutral field. That neutral field loss was against Jamestown, and then that win over Fargo North, and now tonight's 3-0 loss against Fargo Davies. So of the West Fargo Packers coming up here on the 27th, followed by a road trip up to Grand Forks to take on the Knights on the 29th, and then they'll kick off the month of September against home games against Fargo South and the Cheyenne Mustangs, and then on the road against Holy Family Catholic and Fargo North, and then back home against Fargo Davies. You can catch that game on Shanley TV. At least I'm presuming that you can catch that game on September 12th on Shanley TV. And then they'll have a road game against Red River and West Fargo, and then a home game against Grand Forks Central. And then road games against Fargo South and Cheyenne. They'll wrap up the regular season on October 1st with a game against Grand Forks Red River. For the Fargo Davies Eagles, let's see if that one updated. It should say 3-1-0, and it does. It does say 3-1-0. 1-1 at home, 2-0 on either the road or neutral field. They've now scored 6 and allowed 3 with the 1-0 win tonight. They started off with a 1-0 win over Minot in the East-West crossover in Jamestown, then fell to Bismarck Century 3-1 in that same crossover in Jamestown. And now their first, let's see here. We're missing a game there. Oh, no. They would pick up a 1-0 win over Fargo South, and then tonight's win over Shanley, which is 3-0. Their next game will be up at Cushman Field in Grand Forks, taking on the Rough Riders, and they'll come back home on the 29th against the Mustangs. And then back-to-back road games against Fargo North and the West Fargo Packers. September 5th, mark your calendar. That game will be on the ND Sports Channel. And then moving ahead there for after the West Fargo game, they'll see Grand Forks Central here at home. I believe that one's on the ND Sports Channel as well. I'd have to double check. And you can always check our website for the current and accurate schedule. And then they'll have Fargo South, and then on the road at Shanley, at home against Red River, and on the road against the Mustangs. And then home games against Fargo North. And then September 26th, mark your calendar for that one. We'll have that game for you here on the ND Sports Channel. And then they'll wrap up the season on October 1st up in Grand Forks, taking on the Grand Forks Central Knights. Player of the game. Well, let's say it was a hard decision, but we went with the person who was credited with the game-winning goal. He scored the penalty kick at the 26:37 mark of the first half. He had a tremendous amount of shots on goal and had some nice footwork and nice passing out there to set up some other opportunities that they weren't able to cash in on. But our player of the game is going to be the junior midfielder, Jonas Adams. Took 7 shots according to our numbers, 3 free kicks. That's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. See if you can do it. And then goal scored 1, as I mentioned a moment ago, that penalty kick at the 26:37 mark of the first half. Goals assisted on, none that we are aware of. Yellow cards and red cards, none as well. Games on demand. If you go to our website, and under the games button, click on final scores. You'll come to this page right here. As you can see, it says that this broadcast is currently in progress, and as soon as we go off the air with our post-game show, within about usually like 10 minutes, but we always say 30 minutes to be on the safe side, the watch button will appear, and you can click on it and watch this game over again if you missed any of it, or if you want to see it again. Or if maybe you have family and friends that weren't able to catch it live, don't tell them the final score. Send them to our website, let them watch, let them see what happened. We got all the coverage right here on the ND Sports Channel. And then under that same tab on our website, if you click on stream schedule, I think is how it's worded. I'm not 100% sure. You'll come to this this screen right here, and you'll see our next game will be tomorrow. The Shiloh Christian Skyhawks and the Harvey Wells County Hornets. That will be a 7 o'clock 11-man football game. Be the debut football game for 11-man football for the Skyhawks. And then we'll come back home and see Fargo South take on Moorhead in JV and varsity soccer. We're hoping to have the JV game. We haven't had the last couple of JV games that we planned to have due to the fact that we weren't able to get schedule or rosters for the JV team until we arrived at the field, and I can only do so much on the spot prep, so it's hard to memorize about 44 players over the course of a few minutes, so we do the best that we can there. That's the reason why we did not have the JV game today, so we do apologize for that. But we're hoping to have JV games moving forward. We're hoping. I'm literally have my fingers crossed as I say that right now. And then Fargo North, they're getting a new turf field, so they'll play their soccer game against Grand Forks Central at Fargo South High School. We'll have that game for you here. And then we'll see the Davies and the Cheyenne Mustangs on August 29th, I believe that is. And then more football, Oak Grove and Shiloh Christian on the 30th, and that'll wrap up the month of August. We'll kick off the month of September with a Fargo Davies Fargo North soccer matchup on September 1st. 7 o'clock for the varsity game. And then West Fargo and Fargo Davies, as I told you, mark your calendar for September 6th. You can find us online at our website, msportsnet.com, or our Twitter handles for each of our stations are on there, ND Sports CH1. We'd love it if you were to follow us on Twitter. And youtube.com/ND Sports Channel is our direct link on YouTube for any games on the ND Sports Channel. Custom links for the other stations come in as soon as those other stations reach a minimum of 100 subscribers on their independent YouTube channels. So we'd certainly appreciate it if you have any friends that live. We have some games scheduled for the Minnesota Sports Station. Still working on getting some sponsorships for SD Sports Vision, but sooner or later we will have games on that station as well. And then, of course, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/msportsmnet. Thanks so much for watching. The preceding has been a presentation of the ND Sports Channel on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Your final score, once again, Fargo Davies 3, Shanley 0, until tomorrow in Bismarck for the Skyhawks and the Hornets. 11-man football right here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock kickoff on the ND Sports Channel. Talk to you then. Have a great evening.